Again, familiar voices. Voices don't change. Just listen. Do you know who this is?
Who do we have next, Roz?
We have Bob from Fremont. He has a question about his laptop.
Go ahead, Bob. I'm listening.
So after the diagnosis of, whoops, my kitty. After the diagnosis of head trauma, speech inverse disorder, chronic pain caused by nerve radiculopathy, neck injury due to trauma, a mood disorder, depression, chronic anxiety. I don't think so.
Cycling 3 to 4 times a week. 1 to 2 times a week for 4 weeks. Okay. And going upstairs. Recorded the 3rd time. September 19th, 2018, so that's when I went upstairs. So I'll talk about the time that I could not go upstairs. I was at the Detroit Institute of Art.
Focal point is the medication, because I wasn't taking it. I told them. I remember the exact date that I had to start taking, that I had to smoking pot for nausea, back spasms, dizziness, and so I could eat. That's it. I wasn't sleeping. I had lost so much weight that the next thing to go was my organ. I still can't put weight on. I still have dead nerve feeling in my face, and why it's a little asymmetrical right now. I mean, this is different, but I know all the tricks from PT, OT, vestibular, and my will is much stronger because from the very beginning, I rejected some pain psychologist who told me I had to accept I was disabled to get through this injury. And I told her, no, it's an injury, it's an assault, and it's a sign to not work for a company that was gonna be okay abusing kids with special needs. I know these are systems that have operated under different rules for the beginning of time, but how about if we do things differently? Why can't we try? Anyway, I'm utilizing every digital space online to practice writing.
And then it's time to punch the clock, punch the clock.
I put on some makeup, turn on the tape deck, and put the wig back on my head, myself to bed.
All right, let's start writing. Boom.
Suddenly I'm this punk rock star of stage and screen, and I'm never turning back.
I'm never turning back. The end. So the origin of bullying. If I can find the origin of the fear, it's not just describe the trigger. You have to figure out how it started. So I'll describe each of the triggers, 9 in all. 9 is manageable. Because I used to teach special education, meaning I had to multitask and remember the curriculum and each student's objectives and the IEPs that I wrote. So maybe I can't do every grade level, K through 4, or every student who I potentially had for 5 years, but I do believe that I can identify where the triggers go if I create the spaces for them. All right, are we ready to begin? That's what I used to say to my students. That's just what that is. And any questions? Breaking bad habits is tough, but why I'm pretty grateful for the violence, believe it or not. So hopefully when I wake up every day, I can say thanks to how I got here, which is the ability to speak. The opposite is when people don't let you speak. There's a definite thing in trauma called the first response. Let's start there. There's this thing called the call and answer, where you call and you wait for that answer. People enslaved kept communicated and in touch and connected when they were denied literacy. Jeez, oh Pete. So, I said it.
And my will is much stronger.
Trauma will
because
fall. Trauma will fall. At least my personal one. And we'll see if the others do the same. Ivy, gosh. Oh my gosh. Hush. What? What? We talk all the time. Thank God for cats. Thank you.
Because these chimpanzees had given me so much. I knew I had to do something to conserve their environment. So I went to Africa.
Thank God for cats.
I left the jungle as an activist. In this masterclass, I'd like to share with you all of the amazing things that I discovered about these closest relatives of ours. I want to talk about what we all can do together to right the wrongs. You have an indomitable spirit. You can make change in your own life every single day to make this a better world. There is still a window of time. Nature can win if we give her a chance. I'm Jane Goodall, and this is my masterclass.
Hello?
Okay, I'm getting mad. All right, get ready. Here I come. Come on. What do I have to talk dirty to you? Come on, open up for Daddy. Shove loading. There we go. Come on, it's nice and easy. Come on, there we go. Take that. Take that. Come on, you don't want the crowbar, do you? Come on. Open up. Come on. I'm gonna shove my load into you whether you like it or not. Come on. Come on, you son of a bitch. Open up. Okay.
The Vice President and the United States. Madam Speaker!
States have all spoken. If we overrule them, it would damage our republic forever.
As debate continued inside, outside, President Trump supporters arriving, and the mood distinctly changes. Demonstrators soon climbing the walls and scaffolding, violently confronting law enforcement.
15 million people traveling in the United States. 115 million people traveling. Can this be true? Can an intelligent, sophisticated nation...
While inside, the vice president was whisked away by the Secret Service.
Was intent on causing harm to our officers by deploying chemical irritants on police.
Down the road, 5 years, if I hadn't, because I'll always be asking myself the question, did I do everything possible to find out what happened to my son? And every time I go to bed at night, I have to think about that. And I'm not going to have to answer that question down the road, because when I'm done, I'll have said, yes, I did everything I could.
Alright, so one of the issues is obviously time. So technology can be helpful by literally filling in the time, and that's when I realized, oh, I think I can rely on technology for timestamps, originally called dates. And when I explained this, people would assume I was online internet dating, because he's telling me about all of his online dating experiences and concluding that women are trying to date just to get a free dinner, free lunch, or whatever. That may be true, but the point of this story is to illuminate the fact that this person felt pressure of being a man and traditional who has to pay. And then I witnessed the behavior of the family and thought, oh, well, he's absolutely right. There is this sort of conversation that happens over and over and over again, which is where I start writing. Now we're gonna toggle back to the mental math so I don't have to sit with this uncomfortably for too long, and then I'll explain the rest. +4 is 8, so a minute 37 seconds plus 8 seconds. And that's mental math. All right, I edited it. That's the only thing you need to know. Thank you. All right, so that toggle back and forth is doing two things at once. It's checking to see if I can hold the thought. If it's still a trigger, then I'm not gonna remember my own thinking, which is a little disturbing. But it's really just about attention and learning. People make assumptions about certain behaviors, but if the person can explain the behavior, especially after the amount of violence, physical, emotional, sexual, that I've gone under and through, then
people really don't get to just say, I understand trauma, because we do this superficial, one layer, one level deep, meaning we don't understand it, so we say whatever's most comfortable. Because we're used to the strategies that I guess abusive systems use. Anyway, this picture is to represent judges and having to make decisions for the greater good of the public. And the greater good is always to share trauma, who did it, what they did, and their behaviors, and not to gloss it over, not to accept excuses, and then not to emote on others like the board of directors is currently doing. So I'm gonna face that, as well as Chicago Parks District, who've taken advantage of, you know, I'm not gonna call it a disability, but why am I sharing with you how I have adapted to losing my voice entirely, to how difficult technology is? Because I know it's unbelievable or hard to understand because you don't experience the same thing. But remember, I've avoided technology basically since its introduction, only using it for my papers, having a Pinterest account to pin my interest, and obviously music, iPods. Now I do social media, so it is different. But again, I'm looking at it through different eyes. I look at technology through the experience of never really being around it. So I use it as a place to write in. That's it. And also I see the benefit of connecting with people that you normally wouldn't connect with. Whereas before, technology was dangerous because because of the fact you'd be connecting with people that you normally wouldn't connect with. Anyway, thank you.